That way I can sync up the video and the audio.
That was like a gospel clap. Your hands were like perfect. It was right in the right
It's the
place.
only way I know how to clap, sweetie.
It's the only way I know how, girl.
It is the only way I know how to clap.
Okay.
I think we're ready to go.
Thank you. Let's do this.
Ready?
Yes, baby.
This is Brunch, Blaze, and Babble,
where we eat, elevate, and talk about
media trends from the past,
the present,
and the future
from a Black perspective.
I'm your host, Roger Turner.
And I'm your host, Alexis Bertrand.
So sit back,
spark up,
and let's get into it. Hey, Alexis.
Hey, Roger, baby. How are you doing?
I'm fair to middling.
I love, you know what? That's my favorite thing. When you are fair to middling, I have said that a couple times, and people have looked at me straight crazy. I was like, just you gotta listen to the podcast.
Like, what are you talking about? Or listen to the podcast or listen to a 90-year-old Black woman.
In that order, okay?
Okay? Because one of the two are gonna know what that means.
She has to like 90 and like she messed with them old peppermints, the most big ones. I couldn't stand them old chunky ones.
The big old chunky ones that look like a golf red and white golf ball.
I couldn't stand those. Ooh, but that age. That
age. How was your brunch?
Maybe my brunch is good. And you know, people brunches, listen, I'm so sorry. I got caught in this, we got some crazy weather. And your boy stepped outside and a hurricane attacked me.
It's a nor'easter.
What the hell? A nor'easter?
Yeah, it's a
what is that?
A nor'easter. It's like a storm that's specific to the Northeast. It's like a hurricane, but
a nor'easter.
A nor'easter.
A nor'easter. I have learned something. A nor'easter.
You are gonna stop playing me. Stop acting like you have never heard of a nor'easter.
I ain't never heard no bullshit like this.
Oh Lord.
Okay, you know, originally I'm from Buffalo, so we get blizzards. That's it. You want blizzard? That's what I know. Okay, so a nor'easter attacked me, y'all. Okay. So, but I'm here for the people. So the brunch was good because I had it was a take on Thanksgiving, and it was like a pretzel. It was like a turkey, cheddar, cranberry sauce dressing on a pretzel bun kind of sub. It was so good.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yes. So and I got it at a little sandwich shop right around the corner from where I work. Mm-hmm. And so I just wanted to give it a shot. I said, "Oh," went over here and they had like this little Thanksgiving special. The place is called Sweet Green Evergreen. Some Evergreen. It's one of them niche.
It's not Sweet Green.
It's not Sweet Green.
They are not selling what you described as Sweet Green.
Sweet Green ain't selling no meat.
So Evergreen, yes.
Yes, Evergreen. So yeah, it was tasty. What did you have for brunch? What are you doing?
So I am recovering from the holiday Thanksgiving festivities.
Recovering? What happened?
I ate so much.
Oh, everything.
Ate so much.
And didn't give a damn at the time.
Well,
damn.
Right. I was like, I'll deal with it later. Like I'm
on
vacation. So I had a green juice with some protein.
You damn sure, man.
I had a green juice as a protein.
You hear that, brunches? He said green juice. Listen,
honey, I made my good old mac and cheese for Thanksgiving and probably had an entire pan by myself.
No, you did.
I did. I didn't have a whole pan, but I had a lot of it. I definitely had a lot, to the point where I was like, if I don't throw this away, I'm gonna eat it all.
I mean, one spoonful turned into 2 spoonfuls.
I ain't never had a spoonful. A bowl turned into 2 bowls.
Ain't nothing like a bowl of macaroni and cheese.
I said, let me take it out the fridge and put it in the microwave. Let me go and get it. We went down to Atlanta to go see my parents, and my mother-in-law came, and we all had Thanksgiving together. And it was
fun. What? But I'm gonna say this about your macaroni and cheese. If I didn't know you for the godly man that you are, I would swear that you put crack in that damn shit.
I tried.
It's that good, y'all. Brunches. I'm not even gonna hold you. That macaroni and cheese. Y'all know how I feel about his grits. Macaroni and cheese, though.
I can make a starch.
Oh my God.
I can make me a starch.
God. It's just it's disrespectful.
It is. On a scale of 1 to 10, how high are you?
You know I'm high boots.
High boots is not a number between 1 and 10. But if you could narrow it down for me.
Oh, there was a number that actually exists.
High boots.
You're right. High boots.
4 or 5. High boots 7.
No, you ain't gonna play in my face.
I don't know what number it
is.
is.
High boots, we don't play with 4 or 5.
Give me a number.
Okay, 9.
You're a 9. Okay, clearly.
Where are you at?
I'm at an 8. Yeah, I tried this. I went to.
You always lie. You sure it's the 8?
I'm definitely at an 8 because I went to my spot where I usually get my usual gummies. Mm-hmm. And they were like, this lady at the counter was like, we're all out. She's like, we all out. And I was like, I look so disappointed. She was like, but we got other stuff. Try something new. Change it up. I was like, girl, don't peer pressure me. Like, I was like, you think I'm just doing this casually. I got work to do. I can't have a random gummy response.
Oh my God! Oh yes,
you can.
You know I'm here for the chaos. I am very much here for the chaos.
Absolutely not. I gotta push buttons. Absolutely not.
You can figure it out later. Let's just go with it.
Chaos, no thank you.
It tore up the whole
All right, anyway. You want to tell the people what we're talking about today?
Oh my God, yes. I am. Okay, so I am very excited to tell people what we're talking about. So let's get into it. So with any art form, art has always been used, be it music, be it painting, be it dance, be it acting, comedy, you name it. There's always been like a push of the political, like to like share messages. You know, when you think about sketch comedy, it's that particular brand of comedy that really does live in the moment and push the narrative forward when we're trying to think about something. With all that being said, for all that love for sketch comedy, fast forward into 2025, thinking about this landscape we are in. Does it have a place in this world anymore? So what is sketch comedy in a few years?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. I have no idea.
And when I think this is different, what's really fascinating about this particular topic is that we talked about comedy, all forms of it, shapes of it, approaches, perspectives. I think this one though, and even though we've talked about sketch comedy, but now looking in the landscape, right? Because Brunch Blaze and Babble is this space for us to talk about, and for people who like-minded people who get what we get and get down what we get down, a place to really like think about all that we see. We talk about a lot of the media, but when you kind of take what sketch comedy was meant to be, how comedy has helped push the culture, where does that live in a time where people are like, any word that you use can be thrown at you, but at the same time, right, like there should be sensitivity. Who's willing to let y'all have those platforms? So when you look at something like SNL, I don't know, like it doesn't feel like it did when, I don't know, I was growing up, when I was looking at Eddie Murphy, when I was a little kid watching Eddie Murphy on this thing. Like I don't know if it felt like that. And I think you bring up a really good something for us to talk about. Like this is a big art form. There's some iconic people, our faves started all of this. And now looking at 2025, you would hope for something like that could continue, but where can it? I got heavy on myself.
I mean, well, you know what? I'm glad you brought all of those things up because I absolutely was thinking about all of those same things. So the title of the show is
What is Sketch Comedy in a Few Years?
What is sketch comedy in a few years? So I am actually excited about that idea because as I think this is a good place for us to pull back the curtain.
I'm gonna need you to, because I'm like in my feelings about this. I got super into this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so right. Yeah, give me some light, girl.
All right. So if we think about the origins of like comedy and we think about the origins of like sketch comedy basically is just comedy that's set into little small vignettes of scripts, small situations. And so, this goes all the way back to like vaudeville in Great Britain, you have, breakout stars like that came from vaudeville, like Charlie Chaplin, and then Benny Hill, and all these different people that become like icons in British comedy. But then here in the United States, a lot of our version of vaudeville isn't that great.
Oh.
Our version of vaudeville is
kind of boring, huh?
Well, no, vaudeville for us was, why can't I think of the name? Because I'm super high. Where all them people was wearing blackface.
The minstrel show?
Minstrel shows, yes. So like, there you go. Minstrel shows. So like,
oh no, they weren't bad because they were
God. They were horrible.
That's what we would do.
That were we doing. But
we were over here being racist as hell.
Yeah, but if you think about like the origins of like you think about court gestures, they were kind of the disruptors. They were the ones that could make fun of the monarchy and do like comedic criticism of the monarchy. Like a lot of comedies did that, critique like what is happening to us now. And there's comedy that challenges social norms. There's comedy that challenges our identities that we have in society.
All the way down to our predilections. And like you mentioned Benny Hill, right? And it's like, and I'm sure there's some sketchy stuff in his backstory. And at the same time, I realized like he was so popular is because he was one of those artists that like he knew how far he could take it before the network wouldn't broadcast it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but BBC, he got a lot of criticism from like the BBC because Benny Hill was, it was salacious. It was always, I promise you, the first time I ever saw titties was on Benny Hill's show as a kid.
Thank you, Benny. Like it was crazy. And at the same time, you couldn't deny his fan base.
Right.
So he was like, you can say my stuff is nasty, BBC, but your people keep watching it. So tell them to turn to something else. They won't turn to something else because they won't see them bad boys shake.
All right. So I wanted to think about like the challenging of society and the challenging idea and like the forward thinking of comedy and also thinking about the things that we love about comedy. But it's hard to think about sketch comedy in America without thinking about the most famous sketch comedy show of all time in America, which is Saturday Night Live. Now, Saturday Night Live has had a lot of like coverage around its history because earlier this year, it just celebrated 50 years of Saturday Night Live. And it's literally like the second longest running show on NBC. And, it's a big deal. And
it has launched the careers of endless
giants. And like even inadvertently, it let go a lot of amazing people, or did not take on a lot of amazing people that set them on a whole nother track and another road.
True. That's very true.
So I'm going to take you down like a little, I'm going to take a little detour here and give you a little my personal history. Okay, one of my favorite classes in college was world literature. I can't say things.
World literature, you got it, man. You got it,
world literature, because I had this amazing Black professor that came on and taught world literature, and she said, "You know what? World literature is such a broad word and a broad perspective. Like you can't possibly teach literature about from the entire world." But what classically happens is that we usually focus on literature from European authors, blah, 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 blah. And so in order to narrow it down, I'm just going to pick a continent and I'm going to make it all, I'm going to teach you everything that, that has a theme that it is either a author from this continent, or this author talks about this continent, or So something had to relate to this continent. Like either the writing was about it, the author was from that continent, or they were going to it was one of those things. And she was like, "Well, just pick a continent." She was like, "Oh, let's pick, I don't know, Africa." So we read a lot of artists writers that were in the canon that were not in the canon. Basically, because she just picked a continent, and she was like, "I'm still teaching world literature. I'm just picking a continent." And we read authors from South America that were from Europe, that were from the United States, but they were all writing about Africa.
Okay.
So I want to do the same thing. I want to look at SNL.
Okay.
And we'll talk about the history of SNL, but I mostly want to talk about the history of SNL through the different Black comedians that have come in and out of Saturday Night Live.
Okay, wait, I'm picking up what you putting down. You know what? We are up there. We are elevated, but I am picking it up. I'm into this. Okay, let's go.
So let's talk about the origins of SNL. So
you're gonna give me Black origins.
So I'm gonna give you origins, and we're just going to it from the perspective. So, Saturday Night Live basically happens because the biggest comedy show that's on television at the time is The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Mm-hmm. So starting in 1965. Johnny Carson The Tonight Show is on Monday through Friday, but not on the weekends. Starting in 1965, they started airing the Tonight Show reruns on Saturday and Sunday nights.
I think I remember this. Oh my God!
So that was their programming on the weekends. Carson was on late at night, but Carson started requesting that they don't show the reruns of the Tonight Show on the weekend, so we can store up those shows. So when I need to go on vacation or take a break, we can show those reruns. The network exec at the time was like, okay, well, maybe this is an opportunity. Maybe instead of showing these reruns, maybe we should create a new comedy show that would only air on Saturday nights.
My goodness.
So that's,
I see the name coming together.
And so that's how Saturday Night Live comes to be. And so they draft Lorne Michaels, the famous Lorne Michaels, who got his start with another sketch comedy show called Laugh-In.
Oh my God. Yeah. Now that was big for my grandparents. Now that was huge.
Yeah. Laugh-In was huge. And it was like groundbreaking of its time period, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So in 1974, the I can't remember the president's name at the time. The president of NBC, Herbert Schlosser, drafts Lorne Michael to put together this Saturday night live comedic event. Mm-hmm. And so Lorne Michael starts pulling together all of these different writers and comedy writers and starts searching all over the country for comedians and just looking for people to actually like create this show. One of the writers that he brings on to the show is one comic genius, comedic legend, Garrett Morris. Garrett Morris.
Wait a minute.
Garrett Morris, you will know from everything, The Jeffersons.
Oh my God.
All the things.
That's right.
All the things. And so they have him, he's initially hired as a writer. And so Lorne Michaels wants to bring on wants to have a black actor, wants to bring a black actor on the show. He doesn't want to be completely white, but he does look for another black actor. But he drafts Garrett Morris to do this work, to say, hey, can you find me some black actors? And Garrett Morris brings in like the people that were like big at the time and like people that he knew in his network that were very talented actors and kept bringing them on. And Lorne didn't really like any of them. He just kept sending them away, didn't like any of them. But one of his one of the actors that were already in the show, Gilda Radner, was like, why don't you have Garrett Morris
Who is iconic?
Why don't you have him be an actor? Why don't you? They were like, he is an actor. He was just in Cooley High, and Cooley High, major movie. Garrett Morris played a teacher in Cooley High, and he had never seen the film. And it was like him and a couple of other comedians. I believe it was Chevy Chase. Had said, yeah, Garrett is an actor. He was in Cooley High. Watch this movie. Garrett Morris says that Lorne Michaels calls him into the green room. And he was like, oh, like he never calls me into the green room. Like this is big. This might be bad news. What's going on? And when he gets into the green room, Lorne Michaels is watching Cooley High.
Wow.
And he's like, I didn't know you were an actor. Would you like to be a part of the Not Ready for Primetime Players is the name of the group of comedians that's on Saturday Night Live. That is what their name has been from the beginning. That's what their name is until this day, is that Not Ready for Primetime Players. And so Garrett Morris becomes
That's all right. It's all you got it, man.
Garrett Morris becomes the first African American, a part of the original cast of SNL. He's on the first episode. Garrett moves on to all of these different things because he's a comedy legend. He's very talented. He's on Martin. He's on everything.
Yeah, he did Jamie Foxx show. Mm-hmm. He was on Gilda's thing. He did they did a tribute to her. He did Coneheads. He had a couple big.
Yeah, it's one of the things that he talks about. He was like, Garrett Morris says that he wasn't a improv actor. It wasn't his thing. Like he had never done that before. But his audition was with Gilda Radner. And Gilda Radner pretty much led him along through.
Yeah.
Gilda was like, I need you to be on the show. Yes, let's do this. And like he just played off of Gilda and, got the audition and got into the thing. And so, yes, after he sees the movie, Lorne Michaels has him audition. I want to talk about this brief little moment about like the beginnings of SNL is that Lorne Michaels has done a lot with SNL. He's he's pushed the culture forward a lot, but he was doing what a lot of white men do, is try to center the world around what he thought and what he understood comedy to be. So he didn't have the vision he sought out all of these different comedians, but in his world of comedy, he wasn't able to access Black comedians. And they were absolutely out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the ones that were famous at the time, I'm pretty sure he did not approach, because one of the things that Lorne Michaels at the time was trying to avoid at the time, the beginnings of SNL wasn't very controversial. It avoided political comedy.
It was quote unquote good comedy.
Where
it doesn't really, it doesn't hit a line. It just stays within.
It wasn't, it hit lines. It wasn't hitting political lines. They were, I think they were in the early, like SNL goes through these wax and waning times in its history where it's hit or miss on the political comedy. Like some years, depending on who's in charge, did not want to political comedy, and then the years that it did. So,
okay.
So SNL becomes a success. Okay, everybody's watching it. It is the thing. It gets its own time slot. It is cemented into Saturday. It's no longer called Saturday Night. It was originally called Saturday Night, NBC's Saturday Night, not Saturday Night Live, because when it first came out, ABC had another show called Saturday Night Live with Howard Cosell. And so they couldn't use that name. But in 1976, I believe, it was a year after they had gone up, 1976, Saturday Night Live with Howard Cosell had gotten canceled. And so they bought up the rights to the name. And then
Right.
I believe 1977, 1978 season, or 78, 79, one of those, as NBC Saturday Night became Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
So the first season becomes successful. It's rolling. We got stars like, you got Dan Aykroyd, you got Jim Belushi, you got
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase, you got Garrett Morgan, you got
Morris.
Garrett Morgan. Why I keep saying Garrett Morgan?
Because you have Boo Boo K.
Oh Lord, that is a mess.
This is so good. You good.
Gilda Radner, Jane Curtin, like all of the
Jane Curtin.
Jane Curtin. Okay.
Oh wow.
The women on that show, and the women talk about like how, you know, the women were constantly fighting, competing with each other at first because the guys weren't writing roles for them.
For them.
They were just getting roles of like the wife in all of their skits, of the housewife or something. And so instead of, because they had, all the guys had all these different, you know, dressing rooms, and all the women had like a wardrobe room and like this one little section with a curtain. All three women were stuck in that area where all the guys were spread out over here. And so that being caught up in this tight space kind of bonded them. And so they started writing together and creating together. And so you have these amazing sketches around when I believe Dan Aykroyd is, you know, in the short shorts, and all the women are construction workers, and they start catcalling him. And it's funny because there's a movie about the first night of SNL, and in that movie they talk about how Dan Aykroyd was the, you know, salacious catcalling, you know, he was always, you know, saying the things to the women. And so they in that skit, they gave him back what he used to always do. And it was kind of a lesson for him.
We're going to make it out and call it Saturday.
Okay.
I love that.
All right. So it becomes, Saturday Night Live gets like off the chain. It's all over the place. Too many things.
Okay.
And so it's a live show.
Right.
And so Lauren Michaels is like, I need a break. This is a lot. Like, I want to start going to recorded stuff. I want to, you know, maybe not be on every night. He wanted to back away, and like he was trying to renegotiate his contract with NBC. When it didn't go the way he wanted to go, you know, probably from fatigue, from a bunch of different things, Lauren Michaels leaves the show. I think it's closer to the 80s. It's closer to the 80s where he leaves the show, and he's gone for like 5 years. And
the show,
huh?
What happens to the show?
The show starts to languish a little. In February 1st of 1981, a new Gene Domanian gets Lauren Michaels' position. They also recast the show because when Lauren Michaels leaves, a lot of the cast members leave. A lot of the cast members, a lot of the writers leave. And so with this new cast, they're trying to get it all together. It's super frustrating. And one of the cast members, Charles Rocket, during a sketch, uses the F-bomb. He says, fuck.
Oh.
And so Rocket later says he was trying to kill time before the show's close and had not meant to utter the word.
Uh-oh.
But following the episode, Domanian was dismissed after only 10 months because, you know, someone on the show dropped an F-bomb on live television.
I mean, so that's all the time. So everybody heard it.
So Dick Ebersol takes over and is hired as producer, and the show starts to ramp up, eventually removing all of the new cast members aside from Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo. Now,
Oh, wow.
Before Dick Ebersol comes onto the scene, he starts to lean into using Eddie more often. And to the point that the 5 years that Lorne Michael is gone is basically the whole show leans on Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy becomes an instant star, like with his sketches with Mr. Robin's Neighborhood, Gumby. He does an adult Alfalfa. And, you know, he enjoys a lot of this for a little while, but he starts to have an issue with like some of his early sketches. Not Alfalfa. Did I say Alfalfa? I am so high. Buckwheat. He did Buckwheat.
I was trying to mouth it, but girl.
And then he did Gumby. And so he at some point has Buckwheat shot.
Oh, yes.
Has Buckwheat shot on the show because he never wants to do this character again because he gets tired of people in the street saying to him, do Buckwheat, do Buckwheat. Okay? So
I'm about to go to jail. Ask me to do Buckwheat.
Eddie is launched into instant success. He's still on the show, but then, you know, after his stand-up comedy, Delirious, you know, it's
good.
It is completely, you know, after this, everyone's like, he needs to be, actually, first before he does Delirious, he does 48 Hours. 48 Hours with Nick Nolte, like, launches him into superstardom. And, like...
wait. Trading Places wasn't no miss either now.
Well, he did...
wasn't that?
He did 48 Hours first. Yeah, Murphy made his big screen debut in 48 Hours with Nick Nolte. And before that time, there were no, you know, A-list Black actors leading movies.
No, not like that.
And Eddie Murphy...
Not since Sydney.
Yeah, not since Sydney. Yeah. And so Eddie, like, Denzel wasn't starring in movies like that until Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Murphy made it show that, like, a lead Black actor is profitable. And so Eddie, of course, all the stardom, like SNL is like in the rear view. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
okay. I see.
SNL starts to languish again. And so SNL starts to languish and they have what's called the weird 11th season. 11th season, around season 10 is because after Eddie leaves, you know, there's a whole new, like, another head producer, head writer, somebody else comes in and decides to, like, get rid of all the young cast members that are on there at the time and seeks out, like, veteran comedians and veteran comedy writers and, like, gets the best of the best and, like, tries to bring on the show. But what happens is it becomes a little, like, generation gap because it's not the new edgy thing that Saturday Night Live was in the beginning. It's now, like, classic sketch comedy.
It kind of settled into itself.
Yeah, and so it's not doing well. And so the 11th season, the head of NBC convinces Lorne Michaels to come back to the show.
We got to get out of this. This ain't hitting like it need to. We need y'all. Come on, Lorne. Come on, figure this out.
So Lorne Michaels says, I want to get rid of all the veterans and I want to bring in all new comedians. And so he brings in the first openly gay comedian and brings him on the show. Now, this is the, I'm going to say early to mid 80s. I believe this is 1985.
Really?
And he brings on, everybody talks about Ellen and like all these, but like the first queer, like openly gay comedian on television was this guy on SNL.
I'm blanking.
Because none of us really watched it because it's considered the worst season of SNL ever. But he said he wants to have a gay guy. He wants a black man on the show. He wants to bring a black woman on the show. So he
season 11 was the dark ages of SNL.
Yeah, season 11. Literally, they were about to get canceled.
Oh damn! It got that bad.
Yes, like it was. They brought back Lorne Michaels. I can't think of the name of the gay white man that's on there. Y'all don't at me. I told you I'm telling this from a black perspective. But he hires Denitra Vance, this black woman that comes on the show who does not get a lot of roles, and a very young Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans is on the 11th season.
Oh my God.
Of
SNL.
Now, Damon Wayans already knows Eddie Murphy. Okay?
Right.
He knows Eddie. And he asked Eddie for some advice going on SNL. And in Damon's own words, Damon says, Eddie's advice was, write your own sketches. Otherwise, they're going to give you some black people shit to do, and you ain't going to like that. And you ain't going to like it. So Eddie told him that before he got on the show. He gets on the show. What happens? They give him some black people shit.
They give him some black people shit.
And they're struggling with the writing and the comedy and all this different stuff. And they're struggling, trying to get stuff done. And the show is languishing. And Damon Wayans is like, hey, tag me in. I got this stuff. I can write it for you. This is my sketches. And so the writers aren't really listening to him. They're letting his stuff go by. All of his stuff keeps getting shot down. He had developed Homie the Clown, Men on Books, all of that on SNL. Men on Film.
Wow.
Men on Film. Like, he had developed all of that on SNL, and it all got shot down. And so Damon Wayans.
Now it's iconic. Like, now they're iconic.
Damon is frustrated. He's on the show. He's doing a sketch. He's supposed to be playing this police officer. They do the sketch. Something happened like right before they're supposed to go live. And Damon's pissed. And he's like, I did it because I wanted them to fire me. Because I was at this point really pissed. Because nobody's listening to me. So what he does is that on live television, he goes rogue. And even though he goes rogue. So, sketch comedy, improv, it's supposed to be improv. It's supposed to be a sketch comedy. It's supposed to be live, but it's sketch, not improv. And very little is improvised on SNL. They rehearse until it's right. And the cardinal rule is you don't break.
You don't.
You don't change script. You don't go rogue live. And that's what Damon did. He suddenly starts playing his cop like a gay man and does this effeminate voice and goes on, does all his lines the same way. It's like, so you were found in the and like to me it was funny. Everyone else is confused. And so Lauren immediately fires him.
I don't mean laugh at that. That's fucked up.
It is fucked up because, Lauren hates firing people. He famously hates firing people. He avoids it at all costs. He doesn't want to do it. But he ended up firing Damon and then ends up bringing Damon back for like some stand-up and brings him back on the show, blah, blah, blah. So
because Damon became a big deal.
Well, Damon wasn't a big deal yet. He literally during the 11th season, he brings him back on after he's fired him to do a stand-up. It's literally during that season.
Okay.
However, here's my thing: is that I've watched several interviews. Lorne Michael has talked about this situation, and Franken, who was the head writer at the time. He was a writer, and I think he was also a producer at the time. They all talked about, not everybody's stuff gets done, and like Damon was just, was just used to doing comedy his way, and they never take personal responsibility.
Never.
And that's a problem that I had with this, is that Michael never said, you know what, I needed to learn a lesson that, I probably did not see it as funny because I'm trying to see it in the eyes of a white man. And there's more than just white people that are out there, and that I needed to broaden my perspective of what funny is and trust this other comedian.
Yes, and I think I would take it a step further. It's like, if that's all he got out of that, then to me, Mr. Michael still missed the mark, because we know that Damon Wayans only did that because he wasn't being listened to. So it's like,
exactly.
So it's not like, oh, I don't find him. So you making it about, I don't think this comedy was funny. Stop.
Yeah.
It's not about, you don't think that shit is funny.
Right. And it's not about that.
Ooh, you playing in my face.
And I was like, and if it's so bad that this very talented actor, it's not like he's Chevy Chase. It's not like he's just an egotistical asshole. Which a lot of people felt about Chevy Chase.
I mean, yeah, but at that point, by that moment, he had a string of movies behind him. You could tell him.
Chevy Chase was a big deal when he was on SNL, but at the same time,
after he left too.
Before he came on, he was actually he was a pretty big deal. But, Damon was definitely voicing this out of frustration, and as a leader, your first instinct is to fire the only black man on the show when he goes rogue, rather than question, is it really this bad that you would blow up your whole thing? What are we doing wrong that you're deciding to just blow up your whole opportunity here on this show? He never asked that question.
Never.
It was about,
that's my problem.
It was about Damon. And so so we go on, and so we all know the rest of like Damon Wayans' history. Like, Damon Wayans goes on and with his brother creates the Fox comes to the Wayans family to have them produce their version of SNL with a primarily black cast, which becomes In Living Color, which becomes an immediate success.
Legendary.
And so all of these other things are happening. Like, one of the things, so SNL goes to this, so at the end of 11th season, so on that same season, Robert Downey Jr., Anthony Michael Hall,
John Lovitz, Joan Cusack,
all of them.
Hey, God damn.
They're all on this 7th season. This 11th season, but it's bad. It's so bad. It's not doing well at all. They started the top of that 11th season with Madonna opening the show. They did experimental things during that 11th season. They had Francis Ford Coppola direct an episode, which was hilarious because Francis Ford Coppola directed an episode in the fashion that he directs. And he did this really wild skit where he has Denitra Vance star in a skit, and she's in this skit called That Black Girl. And so she's in the skit, she's in that girl wig, like the old like white girl. I think it's what is her name? It's young white actress starred in this show from the 50s, I believe, or 60s, whatever. That girl. And that girl. And so it was a spoof off of that show, and they had That Black Girl. And so she was this black girl that's in this very white persona. So while she's doing it, Francis Ford Coppola stops the skit, and like Francis Ford Coppola does the whole show like he's directing a movie and has them stop, like cut. And they were like, we can't cut, Francis, we're live. And they're like, yeah, we're going to stop there. We're going to try it again. So he comes in the middle of her sketch and he's like, I feel like everything in your sketch is not from a black woman's perspective. It's not really from a black woman's, it's not doing well. Like, I'm feeling I'm not getting that. And she was like, I agree. She was like, I feel like I'm not being heard. I don't feel like this is not my voice, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, where's the writers? Let's talk to the writers. And so he weighs over and a a bunch of white male actors step up behind Demetra, right behind her, and they're like, "Oh, Francis, how can we help you with the script?" He was like, "Wait, how come there are no black women on the writing staff for her skit?"
Oh, Jesus.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
Francis Ford Coppola kind of exposes, the problem with the show.
No more guest directors. No more guest directors, please. No more.
And so it languishes, go through all this stuff, and it gets so bad, and like they've called. The head of NBC calls the stage manager and says, "Hey, they're not getting another season."
Wait a minute. Hey.
He says, "Hey, SNL's not getting another season.
You're not getting another season.
They're not getting another season.
I need all y'all pack y'all shit."
And so, they got to do something. And so Lauren Michaels does the whole thing where they're like, everyone is like at the end of the show, after Damon gets fired, everyone's on edge. After Damon Wayans get fired, everyone's on edge. Everyone's like, any of us can go. And everyone knows the show is not going well. And so they're all frustrated. So they start writing this sketch around how they're just going to set the place on fire. They're all making these things like they're going to burn it all down, blah, 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 blah. Now, Lauren Michaels famously is afraid of, or I would say afraid. I feel like he's a chicken shit for this one, but won't fire people. Okay? Is definitely afraid of firing people. And so what he does at the end of 11th season, there's this sketch where all the actors are in this room, and a fire breaks out, and they're all trapped in this room, and they're on fire. They show these fires going up. And so the smoke is, and so Lauren Michael comes out, and he was like, wait, hold on. You can't set them on fire. If you set them on fire, I won't have any of those actors for the show next season. And so he was like, what? Wait, well, hold on. And so they're not there. Like, this is a whole set. See, this is happening on the side in a different set. And so Lauren Michaels, they're on one side of the set. Lauren Michaels, has this fire, and they're all in there. And he's like, wait a minute. And he opens the door, and he goes in, and he pulls out, I can't remember his name, but he was the number one actor from the show that they were leaning on for most of the show, for most of the season. And they pull him out. And he says, hold on. Let me go right back. And he gets a couple of the writers. And he was like, hold on. He said, hey, hold on. I need to call the writers. And he puts them in. He was like, there's a bunch of candy and goodies and everything in that room where everybody is, and puts them in the room with the fire. And closes the season, and basically is delivering the message, because the studio audience didn't see this, basically is delivering the message to the network that we're starting fresh. I'm firing everybody.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And so at the opening of the 12th season, Madonna introduces the 12th season saying, hey, I'm Madonna. The executives of NBC want me to read you this message before I introduce the next season. In response to last season, it was a bad, bad dream. It never happened. Blah, blah, blah. That's how they introduced the 12th season.
Okay, so they start trolling themselves. This is good. And this season, this is the one where we get Dana Carvey.
Yes.
So John Lovitz comes back. Dennis Miller. Whoa. Okay, Phil Hartman. That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so because he ended up the whole murder scandal. Yeah. But they introduced him because he was big. Him, Jane Hooks.
Well, Dan Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Am I thinking of the right
He was
person?
the one that was murdered. But I can see Dana Carvey and Dennis Miller I mean, they went on to do really big
Oh,
things.
yeah. So Phil Hartman famously, you know where his big start was before SNL?
No.
Pee-wee's
What did I
Playhouse.
do? He was what?
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Phil Hartman was on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
And like him and Paul Reubens, like were close, like writing partners. They were close friends.
Yeah.
And Paul Reubens felt betrayed when Phil Hartman left to go SNL.
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, when Phil Hartman left and went to SNL, felt betrayed. But Phil Hartman was like, it's SNL. It's like the biggest opportunity in life. Like
he was starting over.
Why would I not? So Phil Hartman became, and so we go on. You get a slew throughout the years. You get a slew of more like black actors. You're getting Michael Che. You're getting Chris Rock, Jay Farrow. Michael Che. So Shears made I love how she's introduced because like the season before she's on the season, there hadn't been a black woman like cast member in years, like a full cast member of SNL as a black woman.
Right. That's right.
The on the season before or on the episodes before, Kerry Washington is on the show, and they have Kerry Washington guest starring on the show, and she's running around playing like several different roles, and there are all these different. And she was like, "Why am I doing all this?" She was like, "Why are there no other black women on the cast?" That was her whole.
I was going to say when he relaunched it right at 12. It was all white cast.
Yes,
absolutely. Eventually, he started adding more.
Well, it was more than just all white cast. It was all white cast, and they were staying away from political stuff. They were staying away from the political stuff.
Almost like the show was doing great because it's interesting. It got its beginnings with kind of pushing some shit.
Yeah.
Eddie's and at the height of it, when Eddie's stuff was he was talking about race, and I mean it was being risky to a certain degree. And what we're seeing is, and then when it fell off, it comes back with this all-white cast that doesn't touch the prickly stuff. Am I hearing that right?
Yes. And I feel like as we get into the later years of SNL, you start to get some really talented like comedians and writers like Maya Rudolph, Tim Meadows.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Kenan Thompson, who is still on SNL.
Still working.
Jay Farrell, like these
Leslie Jones,
like all of these performers are bringing their full selves to the performance, and like the classic things that they have brought to that show, like Michael Che's at the desk for update, for weekly update, is brilliant. Like
it could be a show on its own. It should be really good.
Well, that weekly update is literally how shows like The Daily Show and all those comedic like news political shows were born out of SNL from that.
Would you say that, and there's no shade to any of the other first-time racial identifiers who've been on SNL, but would you say that at times to keep SNL fresh, to keep it current, to keep it vibrant, it's leaned a lot on the black talent, and when it needs to just ride a wave to exist, it kind of refocuses in on like whiteness. I don't want to just make it to the cast, but it just sounds like the way the SNL has endured through the years is like we can push. We can push, we can go there, and when we go there, it's typically on the back of a BIPOC writer or actor creating something. And then when it gets to be too much, or things start to fall apart, or we need to do a big reset for whatever the reason the reset needs to be, we lean on we go straight to quote unquote clean comedy, and we stay non-political, and then we do a little bit more whiteness, not white people, but whiteness. You see what I'm wondering
yes and yes and no. I feel like SNL's intention was always, the formula was always to be fringe. The formula
Okay.
was always to work in younger talent that were, the voices of the people. I think as these folks like Lauren Michael and all these different writers, these white men, didn't know how to do that without centering themselves, especially when they started realizing that other people's lives and paychecks and livelihoods, they were going to be held responsible, and then their reputations. So whenever to save it, they leaned into what they know rather than to leaning into something that somebody else knew.
Okay.
And it's I think very much they always wanted to spotlight, and to his credit, the show does lean on a lot of, not a lot, but does lean in on a lot more characters of color. Bowen Yang is like the first Asian American to actually be on the show. They're leaning into a lot more color, and I think that's what they've always done. I think what SNL has done very well is balance the different levels of power that were leading the network at the time.
Okay. And so that's what
because they've from inception, like the show has had a lot of conflict with the network. And so
what would you say in order to, I guess, sustain themselves for the next 50 years?
Yeah, for this,
like they kind of have to lean into that, though.
They had to get themselves to the point where they were undeniable to be able to do whatever the hell they want to do. Because, like, right now, they're one of the few places they still making fun of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They still out here. And I think it took them 50 years to, like, be able to do that.
To be that much of a stalwart. Yeah,
to be of a power. At the same time, I think who Lauren Michael was in 1975 and even in 1985 may not be who he is today, but still not far enough. You know what I mean? Like,
but maybe though, because sometimes time makes us wiser, and sometimes it's like, if maybe he might decide I might die on this. We're not doing nothing. We're not changing. He might want to push back. I mean, it's not like this administration isn't infallible. There's cracks all over the place. Not to go there in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, I think you're right. And I think there's a 50% chance on the other side of that coin. He might be like, you know what? Fuck it. Because this is my baby. I started it, left, and came back. And so maybe what you're not going to do is play with my child. So I don't know. Like, I mean,
it could. Listen, I think Lauren definitely feels that is very protective of. I've heard from more than one comedian in their interviews that Lauren Michael's very protective of the writers and the performers. He's been very protective of them, and like he wants SNL to be a place for them to create. I just don't think he understands that his taste does not need to be at this as a cis het white man over 60. I don't think I don't think he understands that his taste needs to be at the center of what SNL is.
And I think you answered our question. Right? That answers the question, like, what is sketch comedy look like in a few years? And I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it with it. There's power in the collective. So there's power in the diversity of perspective and thought when they're in the writer's room and when they're acting portrayed on screen. That is what's going to help get sketch comedy going. You have to have a producer and a producer who's willing to protect those actors and those writers. And then I think the pitfall, maybe for any sketch comedy, is a producer who's centering his own self, right? Obama said it best, right? 80% of the world's problems is due to old ass white men. He didn't say ass, but old white men who don't want to let go.
Mm-hmm.
So all you're saying is like, Lauren, you can let go. But how, that's a bigger struggle that has anything to do with, like, that is such an internal thing that it's like, can you see the cultural impact that this show has? And can you understand that legacy should be more important than you not being willing to let go?
Right. And there's my and there is my I think he has shifted some of that perspective. Why we have so much more color is understanding how much competition SNL had throughout the years that it didn't have in the beginning. Because in the beginning there was nothing like it. But then you started having a bunch of different shows that were breaking into the sketch comedy. And I think this is a great place to end and talk about those shows.
Yeah.
That there were lots of shows of color. There were lots of shows of diversity that were really challenging SNL's ratings, that were really challenging their popularity. Like, there were shows that people were going to, like Comedy Central became like the new go-to for like sketch comedy. And like, those people that were not getting on SNL or not being heard on SNL, they were going and doing their own thing on those shows. So I want to wrap that up, and I want to talk about like some of our can we talk about a top 5 sketch comedy
real quick
shows?
I want to I'll just give my recommendations.
What you got?
After having these conversations, I'm really happy with my picks. Excuse me, sorry y'all. So outside of A Living Color, that's period.
Oh, I got to take that off my list. Because that was on my list.
No. It's not on my list. But what I will mention is, like, I definitely want to mention Key and Peele, like ones I go back to. I think Key and Peele was great. I love that to go, and I love Black Lady Sketch Show. Those are my 2 key ones I love to go back to. For the family friendly people, I think all that from the Nickelodeon years holds up very well.
It was
one of my favorite sketch comedy shows for young people. It is good. So if you got kids at home and you want something like that, it is fun. It is still fresh. You will see a very young Keenan and Kel. Like, it's just great. Go check that shit out.
I love that you're always thinking about the kids.
I always think about my babies. And then since we talked about the origins, I want to go, and anybody's looking for a throwback, go back and check out the Carol Burnett Show. The Carol Burnett Show is just, in terms of sketch comedy, I think she was the first woman to do it. And she's up there, like, with Lucille Ball was over here doing her thing, and Marilyn Tyler Moore was over here doing her thing. Carol Burnett, and she's the goat of goats of goats. So I would say check her stuff out. And I want to give some shout out to, because we usually don't shout out too many white women, but we love Carol Burnett over here. And I want to give a shout out to the Tracy Ullman Show, because I like British humor. Actually, I take that back. I want to swap that one out for Little Britain. If you're looking for a little crazy show with these 2 men who do all these different characters, who really play with sexuality and British humor in really fun ways, I think you should check out Little Britain. It's really hilarious. And I'll stop.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to go to, so you said 2 of mine. You said,
ooh, which 2 did I get?
You said Key and Peele and Living Color. But
no, Living Color wasn't on my list.
Well, those are side. So
Black Lady Sketch Show?
So yes, Black Lady Sketch Show was the other one. I want to go to Key and Peele's predecessor. Both Key and Peele were on Mad TV.
Oh my God, yes. How can I forget about
Mad
TV?
You got Mad TV.
Oh shit, yes.
One of my favorite places to go back and watch Coleman Domingo is on the Big Gay Sketch Show.
Oh, that was so fun.
The Big Gay Sketch Show.
I missed it when it ended. It was so fun.
Mad TV, Big Gay Sketch Show. Like, these shows like really challenged what people were doing. So I'm going to go back. It counts as sketch comedy to me. It's probably not. It's probably improv. It's probably, but do you remember an old show called Crank Yankers?
You watched Crank Yankers?
First of all,
you do not strike me as somebody who watched that shit.
Not only did I love Crank Yankers, I loved the reason that got me into it was because the first person I heard, so if you haven't heard of Crank Yankers was a show where they recorded a professional comedian doing a prank phone call to anyone, to some random like store establishment, and then they reenacted the phone call with puppets.
That shit was crazy. It was so crazy.
And before that, I used to, what's his name that is on Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley used to do like prank phone calls on his morning show, and he used to do those old ladies. And that's what got me into Crank Yankers, because I used to remember Ricky Smiley doing that. And
like when the radio stations would prank call people,
Yo, that show.
That's a wonderful, you know what? I give you that. That is a wonderful throwback. For that.
Insane. And my favorite person on there, comedian on there, was Wanda Sykes. Wanda Sykes was amazing on Crank Yankers.
That's true. Good call.
If you get a chance, go to YouTube, do Crank Yankers, Wanda Sykes video store. That is hilarious.
Oh God, I'm checking it out. I'm writing it down right now.
But yeah, we talked about Black Lady Sketch Show. So yeah, those are my picks. So I had Key and Peele, Black Lady Sketch Show, Mad TV, Big Gay Sketch Show, and Crank Yankers.
Yeah, good stuff. Oh.
All right, so I think that is all we have time, because I am high boots and
this is so good.
I don't know how I'm going to turn everything off. I don't know what I'm doing.
You got this.
I got to push all the buttons. I'm here by myself. I don't know what buttons to push.
It's push the button. Look at my baby just turned up.
What do you want to tell the people?
I want to tell the people, don't forget to drop us a message and drop it in the comments or anywhere. Send us a note and let us know your favorite sketch comedy show. If we hit some of your favorites or there's some we should consider watching, just let us know. But go out in the world and just be blessed, people, because you are blessed.
And I want you to go out and get yourself some joy, because you deserve it.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.